of the 80s, driving me wild. If this fragrance were a woman, she'd always arrive before you do. She's loud, proud, and confident, and she's mustered up the courage to play corporate for the first time with the big boys. She's got over-processed big hair, massive shoulder pads, candied lip gloss, kind of like what I have today, and colorful plastic earrings. She might cry in order to get her way, and she's just as likely to slap you in the face for stepping out of line. Yes, my lovelies, I'm talking about Giorgio from Giorgio Beverly Hills. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Hello, beautiful people. It's your bag and frag hag Trina, and welcome back to my channel. So I found this little gem at a thrift store along with a friend, which I'll talk about in a bit. Giorgio was my first love, really, in the perfume world when I was a feisty young thing in the 80s. And in retrospect, that's not only due to the fabulousness of this scent, but also in part due to the clever marketing that accompanied it. Giorgio Beverly Hills fully embraced the concept of male marketing. I remember seeing scent strip ads for it in women's magazines and getting just the strip itself in the mail too. This is well before social media marketing, as you can imagine. I think the fragrance came out in 1981. Anyway, my mom and I fell for it all, hook, line, and sinker. I think we had the umbrella, the bag, and definitely the towel. And oh my God, did I have high-cut one pieces like this? Yes, I did. And I did tease my sun-in bleached Annie Lennox short hair too. Okay, turn off the time machine. Don't fall for trends, or there will be much cringing in your future. Probably too late and unavoidable though. Giorgio is a bombshell of heady white florals created by Bob Aliano. And though I'm not particularly a floral type of gal when it comes to perfume, the incredible projection and sillage of this groundbreaking fragrance is part of its appeal. Although it's a bright and happy scent, it somehow manages to come across as mysterious, lush, and sexy too. Even at a young age, I was someone who was able to pull off this fragrance, but maybe that's just because it was the 80s. One pump is enough. This potent juice can induce physical pain if not restrained, and don't use this in summer either. At least it's not like the overly sweet stuff you get in today's mass market perfumes. No, this one is more grown up, but Giorgio certainly does not give a rat's bottom what you think. Still, she did get kicked out of many a restaurant in her day. Indeed, she even was banned from them for a time for what some called lurid behavior. Here are the notes. On first sniff, I get nail polish remover and some sort of very sharp kitchen cleaner, but that soon dissipates thankfully. The fruit basket at the top loses its edge and melds into the florals, which are loud, and that's because they're all there having a party. Especially verbose are the gardenia and tuberose, and tuberose often hides little pink bubbles of sweet bubblegum in perfume, and this does so on occasion for me with this scent. Oh gosh, it's very strong. It's got a nice woody musk base that really ties the complex fragrance together well. It's beautiful, and I don't think it would be as good as this without the ambery stickiness that pulls everything together into a rich, thick, powdery ball. Sadly, what's happened to this fantastic frag is much like what happens to other uniquely fabulous 5-star fragrances that succeeded it. Here I mean the likes of Angel, Poison, Baccarat Rouge 540, etc. They're so wonderful and so unique that everybody wants to wear them. And then everybody does wear them. And then they lose a bit of their souls to popularity. Now apparently Giorgio has been reformulated over the years, but this does smell as I remember it. Now that this scent is more or less officially dated, I think I can bring this out once and again and have people say, "What is that wonderful smell?" rather than, "Oh gosh, someone's wearing Giorgio again." But mostly no, I don't think I'll be wearing this a lot in the future. I just have so many other fragrances to choose from. For now, I just want a piece of it to bring me back in time. It's gonna take a lot to keep me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. I bless the juice that flows out of this bottle too. I only need a little in my collection. I don't think I need the whole bottle. So as you can see, I've already decanted about 10 milliliters from Giorgio and also from Cousin Red here. And I will probably sell these online, or maybe not. It reminds me so much of a more positive, simpler time than now. It's really nostalgic. Now let's move on to Red. Honestly, I'd never smelled this one before, but I vaguely remember it hitting the market years ago. This one came out in 1989, I believe, same nose. It's an even more complex blend than this iconic scent here. Here are the notes. Now this Floriental has also gone through reformulation, and I have no idea if this is the vintage version or not. I did buy both of these fragrances from the secondhand market, so it's hard to be sure. Generally speaking, I think vintage is the way to go. You'll get real oak moss in it. But on the flip side, that might cause some allergies to spark up in someone, or maybe not. Maybe oak moss was already banned at that time. Also, the price of this is too low for it to have ever contained that ingredient, I think. Okay, let's spray this one because it's not as familiar to me. Woo. Oh, I just sprayed my fingers. Yeah, so this starts off with a really soapy quality, sharp, and I get cinnamon in here, although it's not listed in the notes, but it's definitely got a spicy kick. The scent is rich and balmy, and there's a cherry note coming through that I really like. Like its cousin, the dry down here is going to be a lot better than the opening. It's a warm, heavy, and smooth fragrance of indistinguishable flowers with amber and incense. It's sweet with the vanilla, but mature thanks to the dank patchouli and oak moss combo. You know, I actually get Coca-Cola in this. Oh, no. Now that I've smelt the Coke, that's all I smell. But not cherry Coke. The cherry in here is not as sweet, but there's definitely also like that fireball jawbreaker vibe from the cinnamon. Not that there's cinnamon, but there's some sort of spicy gourmand note in here. I would not wear this in the summer, and I wouldn't wear this in the summer either, to be honest. I generally don't like aldehydes, and I feel it in this scent. I feel that both of these scents are actually really well blended. This one's very sultry, but it is very dated. Giorgio too is dated, but I think you can get away with it more. This one, perhaps not so much, at least not for me. It's kind of like, it's too much of too much. And I'm no Joan Collins. Da 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 da. Interestingly, I've heard this fragrance compares to Tom Ford's Fleur de Chine. So if you like your Tom Ford frags but don't have a fat wallet, this might be a great alternative. But please don't take my word for it because I personally have not sniffed out Fleur de Chine. The performance with this fragrance is also well above average, but I don't think Red here is as obnoxious as Cousin Giorgio. If you think you'd like either of these fragrances, I'd definitely buy them. Super bang for your bucks, and you won't need many bucks to begin with. There are at least 24 fragrances from the Giorgio Beverly Hills brand, and unsurprisingly, a great many of them are flankers for this classic. I admit I'm not keen on flankers, so I haven't put my nose to anything else in the line, and that includes the fragrances targeting the male market, although if I remember correctly, I think my brother had a bottle of the Pour Homme equivalent of this back in the day. This fragrance is still widely available if you look for it. And if you look hard, you probably can find a bottle for a really good deal. I certainly did for these two. Check below, I'll try and put some links. So do you lovely folk have any memories associated with this fragrance or this one? If you've smelled red, do you get a Coca-Cola vibe like I do? I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. C'est tout pour aujourd'hui, mes amis. I look forward to having you here with me in my next video. Frag Hag, signing out. Mwah.